AKWAABA. Welcome to my channel. My name is Nana. It has been a while and I know a couple hundred of you have subscribed to this channel in the past month that I've not been uploading. So this is your official welcome. My name is Nana. I make videos that people in Africa and the African diaspora can mostly relate to, but it's not limited to that. There are literature here that I review, mostly African writers, and then there are also food recipes, travel, and wellness, beauty. All of that is on this channel. So if you're new here, do check around, and if you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. Today is International Women's Day, so I felt that this is a conversation, a chat that we should have today about why African feminism is very, very important. And I know the moment you mention the word feminism, a lot of people crawl into their shells and start making up all these things in their mind. So I'm going to simplify it. So we'll treat this as African Feminism 101. Now, before we start, what is feminism? Feminism is the belief and advocacy for equality of the sexes based on social, economic, and political factors. Now, this seems like such a big and wide and such a general concept. So I would say it's common sense. You know, we don't have to prove the humanity of women, but when it comes to especially the continent of Africa, we are so behind in the way the world is moving forward. And because we're young, I already made a video about this, why I think we're stagnant in some of the things. It's because we're really young, so we are trying to get there. Now, when you say social equality for women, we're talking about things like civil liberties, civil rights, reproduction rights. We're talking about things like property rights. I saw this thread on Twitter about how some women in Nigeria now are not entitled to their father's properties because women, a lot of women, they do not have property rights, and not because of any factor, but just because they're women and they have vaginas. Another thing that I saw about reproductive rights is it's like a secondary thought. We always treat women like secondary. So still on social equality, there's a woman that I saw a documentary in Uganda who has 44 children. 44 children by herself, with one man who has refused to help her take care of the kids because the doctors have refused to sterilize her. And even if this woman wanted to, I don't think she has access to things like that. So when we talk about, you know, reproduction rights, and when it comes to women of Africa, this is one of the things that we talk about. And then we want to talk about economic. Now, it's a big thing. It's a big bandwagon that everybody's standing on, which is the equal pay and closing the gender wage gap. Now, for a lot of times, even here in the US and other places, women are paid less for doing the same kind of job. And most of the times, what it happens is that the pay rate is determined based on gender. In other Western countries, there's always a minimum wage. There's always things that, you know, salaries that have to be determined based on experience and things like that, but not in our countries. Usually they're determined by your gender, which is absurd to me because women's stuff costs a lot more. We have extra parts that need extra things. So paying us less for doing the same job is just such an inequality. We talk about political equality. We can talk about things like representing women in policies, and also like someone like the first presidential candidate for Somalia, first female presidential candidate of Somalia. She was vilified, she was imprisoned, not because of anything, but because she dared stand up as a woman and said, I can run this country better than what has happened. And I don't even know what happened to her. I don't know where she is now. You look at a country that rose from genocide like Rwanda, it has majority women in parliament, and now Rwanda is like a tourist place that everybody wants to go see how clean Rwanda is, how, you know, you're building all this stuff. I'm not saying it's all peachy king over there, but you can see the improvement. You take a country like Liberia that has gone through civil wars and the rise of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to, you know, unite the country. She didn't do it all. There's a lot of criticism of her government as well, but you see that when you put women not ahead, but at the same place and give them the same opportunities, they are able to deliver. I want to say that a lot of the criticism that I've heard about feminism, especially when it comes to African women, is that feminism is an European concept. Now, it's just funny to me because why should humanity or appeal for, not appeal, the ask for equality be European? Doesn't that sound absurd to you? That you think that women wanting the same treatment is European. Your name is usually European. The language I'm speaking is European. This shirt is an European concept. There are more Portuguese speakers in Angola than there are in Portugal. An African person will ask you, what is your English name, Nana? What is your Christian name, Nana? When you tell them you don't have any, they look at you like you have 5 heads. Why? Because we are westernized as a people. You have taken these things that do not work for you, but the one of feminism that works for women and works for men also. Because if I was a man, I would want the women in my family to be able to take care of themselves and to rub shoulders with people and prove that, yeah, you have 2 hands, 2 legs, a brain, and everything that's functional, and you can also bring to development. So I don't understand why you say it's, an European concept. When you look at the history of Africa, you look at the history of Akan people and the rise of Yasantua to create a military unit, and when you look at the Dahomey Amazons, which is also an army of just women, you will notice that before colonization of countries in Africa, women were revered. Women had access to things. Women never begged for what it is. They never asked permission for anything. They were their own people. They were king makers. They made kings. They bestowed queens. They were merchants and all of that stuff. So I feel like you saying that feminism is an European concept is not accurate. For most people, when you say feminism, I think what they think about is a bunch of bitter, angry women who don't want to cook for their husbands. And in a lot of cultures in Africa where women are subjugated and treated like we call them the neck. Women are the neck and men are the head, which makes absolutely no sense, because your favorite person in this world is most likely your mother, who is a woman. Your favorite song is most likely about a woman. Your favorite person on this planet is most likely a woman. Your favorite child might even be your daughter. So why is this such a foreign concept to you that women will be given things like that? I'm saying all of this to say that the world is moving forward into a space where women are the future. There's no, feminism does not mean that hatred of men. Anybody who hates men is a misandrist. She's not a feminist. Someone who hates a woman is called a misogynist. People bring their attitudes to courses and to religion. Buddhism is supposed to be one of the most peaceful religions on this earth, but when you look at the news today, Buddhist extremists are killing Rohingya Muslims and the ethnic group. Buddhism and extremism shouldn't even fit in the same sentence, but that's what we're seeing in Myanmar today. Why? Because people bring their attitudes to religion. People bring their attitudes to movements and to causes. It does not invalidate, the cause or the religion or whatever it is. But because some people always want an out, they always look at it as like, well, this person on Twitter said men are da 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 and men should die, so I hate all feminists. That's not what it is. If you believe that women should be paid the same for doing the same job, child marriages should be abolished. Children, especially female children, should be allowed to go to school and given the same resources and access to education and loans and property as men, then you are a feminist. There is no big thing about it. It's not a radical thought. It's common sense. So today being International Women's Day, this is what I say. What can you do as an individual, as an African person or someone in the African diaspora to push African women and the continent towards that direction? When you see a fund going around for small businesses that are in Africa, we usually don't have access to that financial resource. Donate if you can. Check UNICEF for programs that you're doing. If you can volunteer, that would be great. If you can start your own NGO to help STM projects for girls in parts of Africa, do that. You want to join the Peace Corps, do that. Whatever it is that you can. If you had a child in your family who's not being taken care of properly, or who's been made into a domestic maid but they're underage, it is your duty to make sure you either cut them loose, which I'd prefer, or make sure they're getting access to things that your own kids will get access to. So today being the day, I want you to tell all the women in your life that you love them, and make sure you're not that guy or that girl sitting defending injustice. When you see it, call it out. It needs to be called out. It needs to be abolished. We need to take care of each other. And that's all I have today. If you have any comments or anything, as usual, do drop them in the comment section. Make sure it's constructive. It is moving the conversation forward, and we can have a good chat about that. If you have any disparaging things, as people on YouTube like to do, just text it to your mom, and I hope she'll give you an answer that you're looking for. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Nana. Subscribe. I will see you next Saturday. I'm here every day, every week, 10 a.m. Saturday Eastern Standard Time. I'll catch you in my next video. Take care. Scene, I will ask you to read this book, which is Dear AKWAABA, or a Feminist Manifesto in 15 Sessions. I feel like it goes through everything from home politics, as I call it, to, you know, everything else that is in like the African, you know, community, and things that matter to us and very skewed towards our interests are in this book. I have already reviewed it on my channel. So if you're interested, you can buy the book, ask your library if they have it, or just watch my review. Either way. And I hope that you take these suggestions, apply them to your life as they fit, and we'll have that conversation later. Take care.